What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Texas League Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Dwayne Debo Morrow, along with my illustrious fellow hosts. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
I'm Big Rob, no longer in first place, but that's okay. It's a temporary setback. I am in charge of Mathis King. We were king when we were in first place. But at least we ain't a Raiders fan. That's all I got.
Well, that's how you feel about it, sir. I am the commissioner, aka Jared Cowan, the manager of Stairway to Evans. And for once, the winner of the high score. I don't have to send somebody else some money this week.
Congratulations, sir.
Good feeling.
Great job, sir. Welcome to the high scorer circle for this season.
Yeah, it's been a while since you joined us.
Start.
Just saying.
Don't start, gentlemen.
Hey.
We bring it up to the championships like Dallas Cowboy fans. I ain't trying to hear that.
It was a strong W for this week, which we will definitely get into a little bit later. Jared, what's our kickoff question this week, sir?
I was having a bit of a problem coming up with a question something. I was in a conversation at work. I got a simple question. Currently, the Chiefs are winning by whatever it takes to get a W. Do you think they are the next team to go undefeated in the regular season?
Daddy, no more underwear.
That's exactly what the Chiefs fans are saying. That's exactly what they're saying.
If you trust our fourth guest host, Young Jefferson, I also believe that no, they will not make it through this season undefeated. The NFL season is long, and it takes a lot of variables to go undefeated through an entire NFL season. As you can see from this week's escape, it took a blocked field goal to escape a loss to a Broncos team that they were expected to beat up on. Basically, luckily their field goal kicker kept them in the game. But no, I don't know. I haven't even looked at their schedule to see who's left on the schedule, but just in the law of averages, which, math ain't necessarily my thing, but I've watched a whole lot of NFL games and a lot of NFL seasons. It's not on their side when it comes to going undefeated.
I'm looking at their schedule. They play the Bills this week. Do you think the Bills are the team to get it done?
I don't know, honestly. The Bills they're playing in Buffalo too. I could see them winning that game. The game that I think they're going to stumble on, as funny as it sounds, and I can't believe I'm saying this shit, is the Raiders game on a Friday. Right after Thanksgiving. I really think, even though it's going to be a home game for them.
Hopped up on turkey, baby.
Exactly. And they're going to be like, you know what? We got this. It's just the Raiders. They're trash. Things that people normally say about Raiders fans, I'm not trying to paraphrase, but, they're like, that hot garbage team over there in Las Vegas. They're like, oh, we got them. We're going to overlook them. They ain't nobody. They always just, thug, getting in trouble, driving drunk, whatever they say. So I've heard. And and so they're going to overlook him, and Max Crosby going to just light him up. And just next thing you know, it's like, what happened? I'm like, we lost to the Raiders. They like the boo-boo tech of the NFL. How'd that happen? And so I've heard. I mean, I ain't trying to throw shade on nobody's team.
Your comments are just proof that haters are your biggest fans, because we've been on this podcast for 4 minutes now, and if you didn't see his background, you wouldn't believe what his favorite team was, because the only team that ever comes out of his mouth is the Raiders. If that ain't a fan, I don't know what is. When it's the only team you talk about, you have to be a fan. There's no other way around it. And I'm sorry that you're closeted, but just like everybody else on the rainbow that's allowed to come out, you are allowed to come out and fly that Raiders flag. Proud, sir. We welcome you openly to the nation.
Okay, Mr. Morrow, let me put it to you from this perspective. Let me put it to you from this perspective. I know you say math is not your strong suit, so I don't know why you're trying to do a proof by contradiction by trying to say that I like those garbage ass Raiders. So no. I'm not going to use your proof by contradiction saying that I'm a fan.
Love.
Saying that I'm a fan. I know you
love.
I'll take your proof by contradiction and give you one of just pure logic. You're wrong. Enough said. Go ahead, Karen. You were saying?
Wow. I was thinking if they get this far, it could be the Steelers on Christmas. Kind of like you was talking about hopped up on turkey. It's Christmas. They might be, they could just be like, man, we at the end of the season. It's Christmas. Then they will have just played the Texans a few days earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a short week.
So yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like any given Sunday is that phrase for that reason. Even though the NFL plays damn near any day of the week these days, Thursday through Monday, it just makes it that much more difficult, especially when you're the last undefeated team. Teams gear up for it. So, I think that the Bills definitely realize and they know that they have to get over the hump of beating the Chiefs, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs. Like Josh Allen, in order to because right now, Josh Allen's a great quarterback in theory. He still needs to get those quality wins against the other top quarterbacks, and he needs to do it in the regular season and the playoffs in order for him to move into the elite level. He's an elite level fantasy quarterback for sure, but that man is not playing for fantasy superiority. He's playing for a Super Bowl, something that Buffalo has not been able to accomplish yet. So I am sure he knows for sure that the path to the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through Kansas City. No disrespect to Baltimore, but until the Chiefs get out the chair, they're still the Kings. So if you're gonna kill them, you got to do it now. So, great question. Speaking of disappointing quarterbacks, let's talk about the young NFL quarterback situation going on right now. We are now well on the other side of the front half of the 2024 season, and our rookie quarterbacks have been able to give us some insight into their season so far. I think that there is one that stands head and shoulders above the others. We can even look at first year and second year quarterbacks. But there is one right now that is standing above all, and there is one right now that's standing below all. So I'll let you two pick whichever one you want to comment on. Who do you think standing above? Who's the biggest disappointment in that group so far?
Jaden Daniels has to be the one standing above all. I mean, he's taking Washington to a place I didn't see them going, let's be honest. Because before the season started, I looked at the Commanders, and I'm sitting here like, anybody playing them, I want their defense. That's kind of how I was looking at them at the beginning, because I'm like, they're not going to be able to score. So if I got their defense, that's guaranteed some points. But since he's actually been slinging the ball, it's like, he's no slouch. So it's like you have to give the man his respect. So I think when it comes to all first-year players anyway, he's head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yep, I would agree. Jerry, what about you?
That's what I was going to say, but I guess the follow-up question is, I believe this is 2 years in a row where the second quarterback drafted appears to be better than the first quarterback drafted.
Because the first one should never been drafted first, but that's just my opinion.
That's what I was about to say. In both cases, I think the first quarterback drafted shouldn't have been the first quarterback drafted. But what do I know? I'm just an armchair GM.
Exactly. I'm a couch GM.
Yeah. So,
it is amazing though how everyone. When you looked at, Caleb, I think that the talent was there. I was never as sold on him being the surefire savior that they thought he was going to be coming in. I thought that they should have found a way to let him come in and sit for a year.
Yeah.
So I know that, teams, and this is kind of exactly what Brady was talking about when it comes to young quarterbacks. Like because you have them come in and the expectations for them to start right away, their brains aren't ready for an NFL defense. Like it's not the same animal, So no matter how good they were in college, until they see NFL defenses, And I love how everyone always tries to say, "Oh, if you were in the SEC, you saw NFL defense. If you were in the Big Ten, you saw." No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Hell,
Everybody on
everybody on defense is fast.
everybody on
You
that
might have
defense
seen
didn't
NFL
go.
quality players.
Right, everybody on those defenses aren't going to the league. So until you see it and it's at that level, I think we have to stop trying to automatically assume. And I agree with you both. I think that Jaden Daniels was the more polished quarterback coming out of college. I think that I definitely thought CJ Stroud was the better pick coming out of college last year. Um, you know, so just to pick a different answer from both of you on the head above head and shoulders, I would even say that Bo Nix has actually surprised me. Now, I got to see Bo
Mhm.
Nix, I got to see Bo. I'm an Auburn fan, so I got to see Bo Nix in college. So I knew Bo Nix had talent. Some of the issues that plagued him in college, whether he was at Auburn or when he was at Oregon, with the decision making and holding on to the ball too long, are still kind of following him in the NFL at times. But I mean, he took, the Chiefs to the brink on Sunday. He got his team in a position to win the game. Unfortunately, a missed block, a blocked field goal took away his hallelujah moment of his rookie, or what would have been the hallelujah moment of his rookie season so far. But he showed a lot of poise in that game in keeping them in the game that year. Um, do I think that Caleb Williams will ultimately be a good quarterback? Yes, but I think that it was unrealistic to put the kind of pressure or expectations on him to come in and be a savior that was just not going to be there. On the flip side, like you just said, Dr. Deuce, everybody assumed the Commanders were going to be bad, no matter who was going to be at quarterback. So the defense there's definitely going to be better just as good as it was last year. But because there was no pressure, Jaden Daniels is able to just come in and play without having to have those expectations heaped on his shoulder, and it has paid off for him. So good to see all these young men out there balling. Drake May is again, since we're going to touch on it, Drake May is exactly what we thought he was going to be, which was mid. I
Yeah.
mean, he is exactly who he was, and he shouldn't be starting either. So that's the whole and half of it. So,
On a
young
side
McCarthy,
tangent,
go ahead.
anybody going to talk about what Gary Jones saying? With Dak hurt, Cooper Rush is going to be just fine. We're going to be able to plug him in, and he'll do just fine
I'm
with
just
his
gonna say
23
this.
passing attempts for 40 yards.
Like I said, before we got on here, I was talking to a Cowboys fan, and I told him, in my opinion, the Cowboys' biggest problem this season was not injuries. It is their GM slash owner who said, I'm going all in. I don't know his definition of all in and my definition of all in don't match. But once again, I've already said I am as they like to call it, an armchair GM. But I also, like Mr. Morrow, math is not my strongest subject. I understand that. I don't have a PhD in math. But what I do understand is if you sign Dak in CD early in off season, you could have saved enough money to go get you a running back. I don't know, one who lives in Dallas in the off season, but one who is helping Mr. Caldwell's fantasy team, Derrick Henry. You didn't have to pay him as much as they did in Baltimore because we ain't got no state taxes here. You could sign smaller contracts and still make the same amount of money. I'm once again, I am not a GM, but if you sign Dak to a $57 million contract, that still make him the highest paid quarterback, right? And my thing is this: 57 for 4, all guaranteed, is 228. If my math is right, so please stop me if I'm wrong. If you could guarantee the whole contract and still guaranteed less than what you guaranteed on this extension. You could have signed CD to a $30 million contract before everybody else got theirs. And you now have the money necessary to sign Derrick Henry. And I think the team might be a little bit better right now. But once again, I'm just an armchair GM.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is giving up on the season. That's the whole and half of it. There's absolutely no way that he can look at Cooper Rush's performance and think that that's going to get them into the playoffs or to the Super Bowl. It's just not. You no.
But let's also look at the facts. The Cowboys have not made it to a Super Bowl in 30 years. So
we were all teenagers last time they made it.
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
Yeah, I think I would want to say
even without the ginkgo
seventh grade. I want to say seventh grade because that's
Really,
when
you
I
had to
met.
throw the seventh grade count. Seriously, you had to throw that one out.
Yeah,
I know, right? He knows we were older, so we ain't gonna. Like I said, Dr. Deuce, we rising above. We rising
Okay,
above.
my bad. All right, you're right.
It's all right.
I just know that this Monday night football game against the Texans has Texans fans are feeling real. They're walking around like ghosts this week after that ridiculous collapse against the Lions Sunday night. So I know that they are looking forward to this game on Monday night as they travel up the road to Dallas to try to claim superiority of the state in the NFL. But let's get into a recap of week 10 and do our week 11 picks. So let's start off. I don't usually do this, but I want to start off and get my disappointment out the way early. I want to get my disappointment out the way early. I mean, it's right here. It is right here. Lamar Jackson went off. And even though Kyler Murray had a really solid 28 points, like 40 from Lamar on Thursday night, it was just too much to overcome. So
that's the difference.
Shout out to Muff Divers. Like that's the other ones are just mid. Like Addison, 12 points from the Vikings against Jacksonville. Like that is a heartbreaking. So Lamar Jackson and no show by Addison that cost me my game. Like that's shout out to Muff Divers, the homie Adam dropped me out of playoff position this week, but we'll try to bounce back next week, dog. So, let us go continue down the list into a very interesting matchup. Stairway to Evans and Kirkwood. Jared, tell us why this matchup was interesting.
I believe I picked against myself because I looked over there and thought to myself, Jalen Hurts versus the Cowboys. I believe that Jalen Hurts is going to have a hell of a game, and he did have a hell of a game. But the thing that I didn't expect to happen was that I picked up the Philadelphia defense. Kind of like Dr. Deuce was saying earlier, you expect certain teams not to be good. I didn't expect 21 points. I'm like, Lamar went for 40. Burrow went for 40. He about to go off on these Cowboys. Nope. They kept turning the ball over, getting them short fields. And I kept collecting points. That and the fact that we don't have -2 points for interceptions. Jared Goff would have lost 10 points.
There we go.
I think
you still would have eked
it out. You know what? I think at some point I'm gonna put the -2 points in, but probably at the reset.
It's over at the changeover. At the reset, yeah, that'd be the time to do it.
I can tell you in one of my other leagues that it definitely cost somebody a game. It definitely cost somebody a close game in one of my other leagues.
It cost me. I lost 10 points on them interceptions, and then I lost my work league matchup by 6.
That is wild.
Yeah, such is life.
All right. So next, let's just go ahead and come on, share in the pain with us this week, Dr. Deuce. It was a rough week for the hosts.
It was a rough week. I mean, I
won. It wasn't rough for me.
But you voted against yourself.
So you get a push, sir, because you won, but you picked against yourself.
So from my thinking, I figured Jaden Daniels would struggle against Pittsburgh, which he did. To count Mr. Cowan's point, he said Baker Mayfield was going to have a rough week against 49ers, and he damn sure did. I was expecting Jefferson to do more against Jacksonville, but he didn't get the rock thrown to him that much. Quentin Johnston, I thought he'd get at least 2 touches like he has been every other time. He only got 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry only had 68 yards. I'm like, oh crap. Montgomery, Kittle, Taysom Hill. I thought he'd do a little bit better. Get at least a 1-yard touchdown run. Kind of fall in.
Something.
But where my difference was, had I started my backup quarterback Russell Wilson, those 12-point difference would have won me the game. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. It happens. Or even if I put in Buffalo's damn defense.
Right, even bigger was
either one. And here's the jacked up part. I was actually at the supermarket trying to make my pick before the damn game started. I'm like, oh crap, I need to switch out Kansas City for Buffalo. My daughter was with me. I had to get some stuff because I made fried chicken tonight and some collards. So I had to make sure I get all my materials. And so I'm like, oh, let me do that. I'll do it when I get back to the car. Get the car's like 11:01 my time. I'm like, oh shit. Well, I guess I ain't switching. Let's hope for the best. And I'm sitting the rest of the day. Son of a bitch. I should have just switched it when I was over there by the chicken damn aisle, but it is what it is.
You also got to shout out to Brian Robinson going off in a losing effort. Bijan Robinson going off in a losing
Brian Robinson
effort.
on the bench hurt.
True. But Bijan went off. So yeah. Even with
Matt props to Cuzzo for winning. I mean,
indeed.
I should have been in first place, but hey, I lost. I took that L. Like I had to try to take it like a champ, but I'm a little salty about it. I ain't gonna lie.
That was for first place.
It was, and he got it. He's the only 8-2 team. No other one but him.
We did pick so Jared and I did pick against you. So again, it was a
period. Yeah, I got the other ones right. I don't want to talk about it. I got the other ones right.
Because we picked. We felt bad picking against you, but we happened to be right.
Did not feel bad. I don't want to hear that crap.
I did, man. As Martin was saying.
I didn't. I'm looking at his face. He didn't feel bad.
You're my mom.
I appreciate that.
Now, let us take a look at what I will have to call the surprise victory of the week.
I wasn't surprised. I picked this one right.
Yes, I was going to say it was not a surprise for Dr. Deuce. But I still, based on performance this season, I would have to say, and even more to the fact that he got less than 2 points from 2 players and still won by almost 40 points. That is wild. That's wild.
I figured that the Cincy-Baltimore game was going to be a shootout. I figured that game was going to be a shootout.
Yes.
I didn't care who won, but I knew it was going to be a shootout. I didn't know it was going to be a 4-touchdown, 400-yard shootout, but I appreciated that.
Good grief. I mean,
look at the quarterback matchup, 40-point spread right there.
That's literally the difference in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do he have on his bench? Like, I mean, he don't have nobody on the bench.
Nobody really, I mean.
And here's the kicker. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
He left points on the bench. He left 17 points. He left 16 points on the bench.
Mr. Cowell wouldn't have been a high score.
No, that's true. That is true. So
no, he doesn't partake in neither one of these gentlemen partake in the high
so you would have still been a high score anyway.
So it would have been like me last week, de facto. But I'll take the W and the money, even if they don't want it. If I'm the high score, if I'm second and they first, I'll take it. But yeah, shout out to Benchborough and Deal. And even if you're not gonna make the playoffs, don't mean that you can't spoil somebody else's path.
Exactly.
Come on to this couch with me. So shout out to him. In the other game,
now this was a surprise to me.
And again, I do believe that were we could unanimous on this pick.
Yeah,
and I believe we all got this one wrong, if I'm not mistaken. Company man, we none of us really thought that Mahomes was going to have it. Mahomes had a mediocre game, which we figured.
Josh Allen. As I look at this, I just say that we all should have got this right. I believe we should be able to blame this on Alvin Kamara for dropping that wheel route. He was, as they like to say, he was butt booty naked open and dropped it.
I mean,
if he catches that and takes that touchdown, then we win. All right, I just want to say that.
The boy couldn't have been more open if he was flipping the sign and turning the damn key at the store. I mean, come on, Alvin. Saints fans looking nervous. Shout out to the Saints fans too. Whoever put that root on Younghoe Koo's foot, having missing all those field goals on Sunday.
Oh, I ain't heard that in a minute. Damn. All right. Man.
I saw that. Somebody put a root on that boy on Sunday. But yeah, that it ended up being a squeaker. But yeah, shout out to Company Man. All right. And then, all right, last one for last week. This was again, love you, Melanie. Shout out to Big Green, but this was probably the easiest game to call of the week.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think Jamar Chase would go for 56 points or nothing, no, but
and again, here is the part that has me tripped out.
yeah.
Both of them.
Both tight ends got 0.
It's a wash.
They said it ain't tight end week no more, so they ain't got to show up.
Both of them. I mean, likely has been relegated to his TE2 status. Because Mark Andrews had a great game for Jared. But yes, no catches, no catches for no yards is still a tough pill to swallow when you own the NFL field for all those plays. Same thing for Cody Parkinson. But yeah.
And Justin Tucker only having 3 points. Who would think Justin Tucker would only have 3 points?
Right.
No field goal. Well, he did miss, which I wasn't expecting either. And I think he missed 1 or 2. Definitely 1, but I don't remember if he missed the second one during the game. But I was watching when he missed the one. I'm like, damn, did he miss that?
Yeah.
It was under 50 yards. That's automatic normally for him.
Right.
It's when it gets to 60 that could get hairy.
Right. 55 and up is where things get shaky for for Tucker usually. But shout out to Edcorn.
Yeah.
All right.
Jumped up to 7th place. Look at him.
Right. But after that, we have our updated standings. So rough week, anytime all of us go under at least 66%, it's a rough week. And we were off last week, y'all. Both just 2 out of 6 for Jared and I, and Deuce got halfway. So Dr. Deuce and I sitting tied first. So, Jared still a game back. But, there's a long season ahead. So with that being said,
not really. There's only 4 more weeks till playoff.
Right. I mean, but playoff picks count.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Let us jump right into our week 11 picks. Oh yeah. Well, since we ended with Edcorn, let's start with this one. I should probably put a player in that spot. I'll do that later.
Yeah, you might want you got a tight end somewhere. So
oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Actually, I just picked a new one up. I just picked up Mr. Jonnu Smith, who's playing
from Miami. Yeah.
Who's playing my Raiders this week, so he should have a good game.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking against myself. So, gentlemen.
Yeah. You're not picking against yourself. I understand that. I made that mistake last week. But I am. I see Joe Mixon against a subpar Dallas defense. I see Brock Bowers. Who are your wide receivers for the Raiders?
What's your receiver?
That thought process right there tells me about Brock Bowers.
We got Trey Tucker. We got Jacoby Myers. Those are our 1s and 2 right now.
Oh, yeah, Myers. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brock Bowers has a good game strictly
because he's going to eat because, again, like we always love to say, somebody's got to catch the ball. So
yeah, I'm going with Edcorn. I believe Jamar Chase picks up where he left off last week and has a deep. I don't think he goes crazy like he did against the Ravens. He enjoys doing that, but I think he does have a good game against the Chargers. Joe Mixon's gonna eat against Dallas. Brock Bowers has a good solid week, and I believe that Edcorn squeaks it out. I don't see it as a blowout. I think it's a close matchup, but I think Edcorn gets the win.
Fair enough, Dr. Dukes.
Battle of 5-5 teams. I can see Jordan Love doing okay against Chicago because Chicago doesn't know how to put up points for some damn reason. Even though they got Keenan Allen, he apparently needs to put stick him on his hands because they hit his hands and it falls down. E-Hop, I can see him doing something interesting. I mean, he did catch a touchdown with Kansas City over the weekend. Reed, I don't know. Saquon's going to do Saquon things. I mean, it is what it is. Taylor, now that he has Richardson back, I can see him doing something. You're tight end, you're going to put Miami's tight end. Right, exactly. You're tight end, you'll put Miami's tight end, so you'll be fine. Hiccups. I mean, I got Jacobs in another league, so he generally does pretty well for me, so it's hard to talk down on him. Chicago's defense, I'm assuming you're going to find a different one, but you just pretend like
But
they
of
stay up
course.
there.
But of course.
Okay. I'm kind of torn on this because I think my biggest issue, what is Max Crosby going to do to Tua? That's what I'm curious about. If Max Crosby gets him up or wraps him up and makes that fool hit his head damn again, what does that do for Tua? That's my biggest concern. Jamar Chase he's gonna get his points against my Chargers. Our secondary is not the strongest, and I guess I'll leave it at that. I mean, we can stop you for a quarter or two, but if you make us play all 4 quarters, we struggle on that a little bit. Because then if we double him, Higgins is going to be wide the hell open for no damn reason. It's just like, damn it, we can't win for losing.
So the
Flowers is going to get points. Huh?
I was going to say, he kind of has a plethora of riches right now because I think that he's going to swap out one of these guys on his team for Samuel. I think he ends up putting Debo in the game over one of these people before.
Yeah, he probably put him in before Pickens is what I think. Yeah. But damn, you know what? I want to say you, Debo, but I can't. I got to go with Acorn.
Hey, man.
But I agree with Mr. Cowan. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be like
I think it's
1 or 2 points maybe.
I don't see that. I don't give his team a big enough advantage that I think I'm a guaranteed loss. Again, I have no problem picking against myself if I think that I'm truly going to lose. I just think that I can get some things done this week. So
is Metcalf coming back this week?
No.
Oh, he's not? Okay. Then yeah. No. Yeah, okay. Then yeah, I stick by my pick. Acorn.
Yeah. All right. Then our second host, Stairway to Evans, Dr. Deuce. Oh, you also have a spot to fill this week, sir.
You got a running back.
Let's see who's on your bench.
Not much.
Shake it.
You got to hit the waiver wire.
Okay. I mean, I got a running back I can give you. I mean, we ain't did a trade yet this year, so I mean, I've been doing good though without our trade, so I'm a little leery about it. But shoot something my way and tell me what you think. Anyway, that being said, ooh, this green bit. Damn, bro. You know what? I'm gonna say Stairway to Evans because I think Goff gets over his pick issue, and he hits Amon St. Brown a couple of times against Jacksonville's non-existent secondary. So, yeah, I see Andrews gonna. Baltimore's gonna throw the ball. I'm not worried about that. Baltimore's gonna run the ball. Not worried about that. Not that Lamar needs a safety blanket, but Andrews is not a bad damn safety blanket to have if you actually needed one.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm giving the edge to Stairway to Evans. Got to.
I concur. The Packers are going to come into Chicago. I mean, how many seasons has it been since the Bears beat the Packers? Caleb Williams ain't playing well enough to snap that streak. So,
what's the weather going to be in Green Bay this week? Anybody know?
No, it's actually going to be in Chicago.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
The game's in Chicago.
I don't know why I thought it was going to be in Green Bay. My bad.
No, the game's in Chicago. So,
okay.
Yeah. I just, again, Caleb Williams just not. Caleb Williams is playing so bad this week. There were reports that veterans went to the coaches and office coordinators and asked that he be benched. Now, again, don't know the veracity of it or how true it was, but it's been reported this week that his own teammates have requested that he be benched.
That's rough.
It really is. So, but yeah, I'm also going to stick with Stairway to Evans this week. All right.
Now, I can't say it's a guarantee, but we need to know what Mr. Cowan wants to do. Because as he showed last week, there's no guarantee where we're going.
So, not picking against yourself this week, Mr. Cowan. Very good.
I'm not.
That was quick. You already had his spears. That didn't take long.
All righty. 2 Boobs, 2 Balls versus Kirkwood. Kirkwood is going to need to win this game to keep his playoff hopes alive for this season. Jared, do you think he keeps his playoff hopes alive?
I do not. I do not. I believe that 2 Boobs, 2 Balls, 1 goal pulls it out this week. You know, they they lost last week in a very close matchup, and I believe that they are going to get it done this week.
Indeed.
just something in me says that Washington and the Eagles have a shootout, not a Baltimore Cincinnati shootout, more of a like a 28-24 type shootout with big explosive plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the same thing happens in that Kansas City Buffalo game, and that's going to put two boobs over another close matchup. And I believe that Breece Hall gets back on track. He hasn't been putting up great numbers, but I think he puts up some numbers against Indianapolis. I believe Alvin Kamara doesn't drop the ball on the wheel route this week. I believe Bo Nix continues to look.
Probably going to be cold up there in Cleveland, though.
Right.
Good work, Love.
Exactly. Good work. Ain't the problem. He's been in the league for years. He's played in some cold weather.
I'm going to concur with you. I think two boobs, two balls pulls us off. I think it's going to be. I actually disagree with you on. I think Josh Allen does have a Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson Week 10 type performance. I think he's going to go 300 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, some through the air, one on the ground. Because he's going to have to, in order, if he wants, like I said earlier in the podcast, if he wants to start putting his stamp on the league and make his way to a Super Bowl, he has to show that he can beat Kansas City. He's at home. It's an afternoon game. He's got to be able to get it done, and it's going to take him. He's going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to have the ball out of control. Dr. Deuce?
I'm going to have to disagree with both of you. So here's why I'm picking Kirkwood. I agree with Jalen Hurts in Washington. It's probably 28-24 or like 31-28, something like that. I agree with that. But where I think that things are going to shift, the tides are going to shift, Christian McCaffrey now already has a game underneath him. He's playing against Seattle. I think he's going to be like, okay, divisional opponent. It's time for me to show out. I'm like, this is what y'all have missed all season. I think he goes for more than 20. And Houston's defense against Dallas, who owns Texas, just like you had said earlier in the podcast, who's going to reign supreme in the state of Texas. We know it ain't them boys. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
So for that reason, I'm picking Kirkwood because I can see Houston being confident as hell coming out. All right, Cooper Rush, what you got?
If they got 5 picks on Jared Goff,
Cooper Rush threw for 45 yards.
Cooper got to be good for at least 3 this week.
If not three plus a fumble. I don't know. So I'm picking Kirkwood. I'm sorry.
Very good point. So what you're saying is the Cowboys helped him lose last week with their horrible performance and how it helped my defense. So that's going to come back and help him this week is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Speaking of teams that's looking for a bounce back victory, Mathis King versus Benchboro and Deal. Benchboro and Deal coming off a surprise victory last week. Jared, who you like in this game?
You know what? He surprised us last week. I don't think he does it 2 weeks in a row. What I did see is that Jamar Chase likes to go crazy against the Ravens this year. Just like Derrick Henry used to go off on the Texans when he played in Tennessee, the same way that T.Y. Hilton was known for abusing the Texans. Obviously I live in Houston, I get to see them. Yeah, so I don't think that I do believe that the Chargers secondary is going to put up a better showing than the Ravens did on Thursday night because they're not coming off of not playing on a short week, but I don't think that Burrow's going to go off for another 40 points. And I believe that Justin Jefferson and Sam Darnold get it together this week against Tennessee. I believe Derrick Henry gets it back on track and can do something. Derrick Henry didn't have a horrible game. He just didn't
I was gonna
have
say it's interesting we're calling an off game. 68 yards and a touchdown. That's a hell of an off game for most running backs.
It is, but as you can see through his things, that's
we
the
used to him
lowest he's
getting
done all
100.
season.
But especially when your quarterback, he got 68 yards in the ground and a touchdown, and the quarterback still threw for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. Like,
we used to him going for over 100. So this was a bit of an off game for him.
His touches were extremely effective.
No, so
and I like Montgomery against Jacksonville. That's all I'm going to say. I'll let you finish, Tom. I'm sorry.
I agree with that. I believe that the Lions will just kind of like they said, cat playing with their food. They just gonna play with their food in Jacksonville. Actually, that's a home game because I see a little dome state. They at the house. I believe Mathis King gets back in the win column this week.
Yeah, no long soliloquy from me. I concur. Mathis King. And since he's already chimed in, I think that we're pretty clear on who Mathis King is picking this week.
Yes, sir. Amen.
All right. Company Man versus Muff Divers. Company Man versus Muff Divers. 2 teams both sitting at 6-4. Both of them, elite quarterbacks. Only one has been having elite quarterback play so far this season from a fantasy standpoint. But one is undefeated. I do not believe that the Chiefs are going to leave Buffalo with their O. I believe they get their 1 this weekend for the season, and it goes to Mercury Murs, gets to pour some heavenly champagne Sunday evening. Lamar Jackson versus Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers defense is not going to sit back and allow Lamar Jackson to just run all over the field and throw the ball. Tomlin's a much smarter head coach. His defense is a lot more disciplined, and I think they're going to be prepared. That being said, Lamar Jackson is still freaking Lamar Jackson. So who we got down here to take this slot that's open since Marvin Harrison Jr. has a off week? I don't know. I mean, he's got Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler probably be his best choice.
Yeah, who's definitely outperforming his projections. Most, like, a lot of times this season, Austin Eckler has been performing above his projections. So he could definitely I can definitely see him putting Austin Eckler in that slot. And I'm gonna go with Muff Divers in a squeaker. Because the main reason being I don't believe in Najee Harris. So
I let Chris hear you say that.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Muff Divers. Jared, who you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Muff Divers as well. Basically, like you said, Lamar Jackson is still Lamar Jackson. I don't believe CeeDee Lamb does much. Not with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Now, Brandon Aubrey, he might have some points. CeeDee Lamb, not so much.
Yeah. But again, the Texans defense has been known to give up big plays. Like, most of the time, they're very disciplined. But if Cooper Rush makes one throw where he catches the Texans defense slipping, it's going to be the CeeDee Lamb. So, Dr. Deuce, you like?
You guys bring up some very, very valid points. And we usually agree on a whole lot. This is no different. We agree on this one as well. But the reason why I'm picking also Muff Divers, it's just like you said. Tomlin's a smart defensive-minded coach. He has been the entire time. And like you said, he ain't going to want Lamar Jackson running all up and down the field slinging the damn ball. So with all that attention on Lamar Jackson, he's still going to get his points. Derrick Henry going to be right there to get me my points to run it down the damn throat. So because Muff Divers is there for me, I'm there for Adam. Muff Divers, let's go.
All right. And our last pick of the week, Super Mario Crystal Ballin sitting in first place versus last place, the Big Green. Who's the quarterback? Okay.
Yeah.
So
We just all say Super Mario and be done.
yeah, I don't know who she's gonna pick up, but it's damn near like she's gonna pick up Cooper Rush this week because not a lot of
Yeah.
options out there at quarterback. I mean, this is
Let me
a
look real quick to see who's even available.
you know, so you need a quarterback. You got Chuba Hubbard on bye, so just you're gonna have to kind of either
You got
kind of
Jameis
go,
Winston, I guess.
Aaron Rodgers is out there.
yeah.
Okay, let's be real now. Come on.
But
Bo Nix.
it's either one
Bo
of
Nix,
it's
there you
either
go.
is are either of them, you know, expected to have the kind of fantasy week that would put her over the top? I don't believe so.
Derek Carr would be her best choice. He playing Cleveland.
Yeah, but I
That
think
would
that they're
probably be
gonna
a
run.
good choice, but I mean,
I think that they're gonna run the ball down Cleveland's throat. Like
well, yeah, but at least 1 point gives her more than Jones will get her.
this is true. But no matter who she puts in at quarterback, it's not going to give me enough confidence to give her the edge. So
Even though I
Super
need Super
Mario.
Mario to lose, I have to pick him.
Yeah. All right. That is all of our picks for the week. Which games you looking forward to this weekend, gentlemen?
For me, obviously Chargers and Bengals, but on the real, I'm looking for a Monday night's game. I just want to see. It's like you know when you watch something like, man, there's gonna be a train wreck, but you got to eat your popcorn and just keep watching it. That's how I feel about watching the Cowboys. So it's like I just want to see what happens.
Okay. How about you, Jared?
I want to see that Buffalo Kansas City game because, like you said, that O has that. Well, it doesn't have to go, but I believe it goes. I believe this is the game that Josh Allen finally beats Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes has been squeaking by it. Like he just every week, it's just somebody else saves him. Like like a blocked field goal to win. I'm gonna say that the Bucks should have beat them, but our coach decided like just go for two. If we lose, we lose because everybody knows you give them the ball in overtime, you ain't gonna get the ball back. At
That's
least go.
that,
Mhm.
and that's I think that's one of those feelings that the coaches have in those situations is hell, if we were gonna I mean, it was the situation that Cincinnati went like I respect
Mhm.
Cincinnati. They were like, you know what? What's the point of a tie? Like this has been a heavyweight fight this whole game. Either we walk out of here with our heads held high no matter what. At least we went for it,
Yeah.
you know. So shout out to I get it. And I know Bengals fans have legit beef with the things that weren't called on the last play. There was a potential hold, a potential defensive pass interference. Like I get it. But what you also better understand is that ain't nobody gonna try. Nobody's going to blow the whistle. It's just fair or not. And I absolutely agree. Fair or not in that situation, if you're looking for the call instead of looking to make the play, you're doing the wrong thing. So
You're gonna watch the fight on Friday?
oh, absolutely.
I
I just
probably
want to see
will
what
not.
happens.
Right.
I
I'm
won't be
sorry.
home.
Oh, you
I'm
don't
going.
have a phone?
You don't
No,
have Netflix on your phone?
Right.
let me download the apps like you're talking about. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna be at a playoff game.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm watching that, sir. Absolutely. For nothing for the pure spectacle of it all. You better
Yeah.
believe I'm watching that.
I want to see this
Um,
57-year-old. That gonna hurt. I mean, I don't care who you are. 57, that dude still punching like that?
I don't think that Jake Paul he has the stamina and speed of youth on his side. But if you've ever gotten in the ring and been hit with a few body shots, oh, you slow down. And
Hmm.
Mike still looks like he hits like a freaking train.
Yeah.
So
I saw one video. It's like he was hitting something and he did six quick hits. It's like kind of like gunshots. It's like he's still fucking swinging that damn fast. It's like, ain't no hell way in the hell I'm getting in no ring with anybody doing no shit like that.
I saw a clip from the documentary. So I'm actually going to watch the documentary tomorrow. You know me,
Mhm.
I love to have the football game on TV and then on silent and then watch something on my tablet.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so that's what I'm gonna watch tomorrow to prepare for the fight. But Mike said the difference between us is they turned Jake Paul into a boxer. I'm paraphrasing. He said basically he's like they made Jake Paul a fighter or a boxer. I'm a natural born killer. And
I mean, no lies told.
there's a difference. There is a difference. So
Because if Mike Tyson was in his prime, there's no way Paul would be like, "Oh yeah, I can fight him." Like, dude, you trying to die? The hell is you thinking?
if Mike Tyson was 40, Jake Paul wouldn't try to fight. The only reason that Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson is because he's damn near ready for Social Security. That's the only reason he's no. Come on now.
So you can go to fight and still get a 10% discount. Let me stop. Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to 2 early games. I'm definitely going to check out the Green Bay Chicago game and the Baltimore Pittsburgh game. I might have to go to a bar since I ain't paying for DirecTV. Shout out to the people that do. But I might have to go to a bar so I can catch both of those games at the same time on Sunday because I definitely want to watch both of them.
I ain't gonna lie, I love my Sunday ticket. I put the $4. I get to pick. They did it different this year. I get to pick which games I have in my little boxes now. Before you had to just go whichever was preset. So it's like I have Red Zone in one corner, I have my Chargers in another, and whatever other one I'm following on fantasy in another. Plus, you can log into your fantasy and it gives you your stats right then and there. One of your people scoring one of the other games is like, oh, such and such threw a blah 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 touchdown or caught 47-yard pass. I'm like, that's what's up.
That is so cool. And it's
all of us aren't that fortunate. I have Sunday ticket, but I don't have.
I'm so cheap. And I'm so cheap. I'm not doing it. But all right, well, that's it for us this week. Good luck to all of you this weekend in your fantasy teams, unless you're
playing against it.
Of course, but of course, we have no conflicts this weekend in terms of fantasy or favorite team. So, best wishes. I believe the Bucks are on bye, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the reason why I started Russell Wilson.
So Mr. Cowan gets a weekend to just be a spectator and all fantasy this weekend for him.
I'm gonna be like Mr. Caldwell. I'm gonna pull up my Sunday ticket and I'm gonna have folks. I'm gonna have a Red Zone in 1 and 3 games in the other 3 boxes.
Yeah,
fair enough. So, all right, gentlemen. See you next week. Peace.